And there's a bunch more crickets. There's another one.
Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Aquatics, and today we're not showing fish or fish tanks. I mean, I guess you can see them behind me, but today we're setting up a lizard habitat for my 8-year-old grandson. Zayden, you want to say hi?
Hi.
So on my bingo card for today, it did not say you're going to set up a lizard enclosure, but here we are. Kind of a funny story. We've had lizards on our front porch, and the grandkids have been trying to catch them. So my wife caught them today, and I did not see that coming. And she said, hey, I think Zayden would love it if we kept these lizards as pets. My immediate thought is, no, you can't do that. It's probably illegal. They might be endangered species. They might be dangerous. Maybe we can't keep them. But that was about 8 hours ago, and I've spent the last 8 hours doing research. What kind of lizards are these? Is it safe to keep them? Is it legal to keep them? Went through the whole thing. Turns out it's not that bad of an idea. This particular lizard here is called a broadhead skink. Skink. It's halfway between skunk and stink, but they don't smell bad. It seems like they would smell bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
After doing research, there are lots of types of skinks, which is the lizard variety they are. There are lots of types of skinks that are captive bred and you can buy and order at pet stores. You can also buy this exact lizard, but it will always, if you buy one, it will always be wild caught because no one breeds these lizards. So you can buy these, but they will be wild caught. It is legal to keep them in my area, and they are completely safe. One of them bit me today. It doesn't hurt at all. And so we're going to try to set up a nice habitat for them. I've done every bit of research I could do, and I'm going to try to condense what I've learned in the last 8 hours down to about 10 minutes to share with you guys what I've learned about these lizards. Now, the first obvious thing I want to point out is they're not staying in here. This is way too small. Right now, we're going to move them into a bigger home, and if we keep them, especially if we keep all of them, they will get an even much larger home than that. But there are 3 here, and I don't know if they're male or female, but in general, you don't want to keep 2 males together. You can easily keep a male and a female, but 2 males might get combative. Or if there's 2 females and a male, or all females, it would work out better. But we're just going to do some testing with it and see how it goes. We may keep them and we may not. But once we've set up an enclosure and we found out that Mr. Man here likes keeping lizards, we may get a chameleon or a bearded dragon or some other kind of lizard if these don't work out very well. Yeah, this guy, was it this one I pulled out earlier that bit me? Was it the little one or one of the other ones?
One of those 2.
One of these 2 bit me earlier. Not too bad. All right, so what we need to do is try to set up an ideal habitat for them. And even though I've spent 25 years
with fish,
keeping fish of all different varieties, and I consider myself to be, as much as you can be, a fish expert, I'm no lizard expert. But we've done our research and we're going to do the best we can for them. So to begin with, I had a bunch of 10-gallon and 20-gallon long aquariums, with the purpose being I've got a design in mind, and this week I was going to build a custom rack because I've got a ton of fish breeding behind me, and I'm going to set up a rack of 20 gallons and a rack of 10 gallons. But one of those is now going to be our lizard home, and like I said, probably if we decide to keep these, I'd go get a 40 breeder or a 75-gallon or something with a bigger footprint. Height doesn't really matter, but I'd get something, or a purpose-built reptile enclosure. So we'll just wait and see on that. Today we're going to do our best job to set up this 20-gallon because these lizards are pretty small. I think it'll be fine. So what do you think we start with? What is that?
It is reptile bark.
Reptile bark. But actually, we've got a couple of plants that we're going to try to grow in here, and I haven't seen anyone do this before, but when I grow plants in an aquarium, I put a little bit of dirt down under the sand. So if that works in an aquarium, why wouldn't it work here? So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to use a lot. The idea is just if a plant's going to grow in here, what's it going to feed on?
Dirt. So some crickets.
Yep. What kind of worms are those?
Lime red worms.
Red worms. All right. you want this to stay kind of moist but not saturated. And I thought I had a bag of sand here, but it looks like I'm out of sand. So I'm going to get just a little bit of sand out of one of the aquariums and put on top of this. And that sand will kind of soak water down into the dirt. It'll be wet today, but it'll dry out. And you want a lot of humidity in a reptile enclosure anyway. So I'm going to get just a little bit of sand out of one of my other fish tanks and put in this bucket. Growing aquatic plants is kind of hard, and in theory it should be a lot easier to grow terrestrial plants. You don't have to deal with oxygen and carbon dioxide and control the air mixture. But I've still never tried to grow plants in something like this, so it'll be a learning experience. What we have now is dirt. There's a little bit of sand over there. And this is like a potting soil that should be good for the plants. And then we've got some small rock over it just to give some thickness to it. Now we're putting in the reptile bark. You probably use the whole bag. We're going to make it thick on there. Put most of it on this side and then just a little bit on the other side. So just like with anything else, I'll have to do my research. It doesn't even say what kind of plant this is. But it's listed as a live terrarium plant. We got the bottom of it down into the dirt layer. And I try not to cover over it with too much mulch. So my goal would be to have like 5 or 6 thriving live plants in here. But I don't know how well they're going to grow. So we're just doing a test with one plant right now. And then my buddy here has put a second plant on that side. And that one is a plastic plant. So I bet it thrives. You got to be trying pretty hard to kill a plastic plant. One side of this will be the hot side, and one will be the cold side. So we got to pick out a hot side and a cold side.
This is hot.
I think the hot side will be over here, so the cold side will be on the other side, and we want the water dish in the cold side. So put it on that side somewhere. And then we got a real piece of driftwood here.
And this is our sprayer.
Just gives them some variety, something to climb on. Maybe prop this guy up in the corner. Let's put the plant at the back so that it doesn't block where we can see them. We'll put the water here.
And this is our sprayer.
Yeah, you got to keep the lizards high humidity, so you want to spray them down, spray the whole area down. You want to go ahead and go get some water in that?
Where?
Out of the sink. Okay, the lizards need high humidity, so we're going to wet down the mulch a little bit. Just spray the fake plant, spray the wood, spray the real plant, and then spray all the mulch. We don't want it to be dripping wet, just a little bit wet on everything. So just spray like you are all the way. And then spray that live plant more than anything else. So now let's think about what else does a lizard need? Do you know of anything else?
Wait. We need lights.
Yep. Lizards have to sit in the sun, and it makes them healthy. So lizards have to have time to sit in sunlight. So you need one light that puts off heat, and a lot of lizards also need a bulb that specifically puts off UVB light. Same way that a human needs vitamin D, and the best place to get it is from the sun. These lizards need these lights.
We go add water in there.
Yep, go get water in the bowl. Yep, get their water in the corner. All right, and we have to change that water every day. That's part of the job if you want to keep lizards. And I got another piece of wood here that'll kind of make it look cool, give them something else to climb around on. For lizards to lay in that heat, they don't want the heat on this mulch. They want to lay on a rock, and the rock can be hot. So we're going to put a big flat rock in here and point the heat lamp at the rock, and then the lizards can lay on that to sleep. So we'll actually go out and find a flat rock by the back door or something. Okay, so this will be our basking rock. I don't know if it's quite big enough for all 3 lizards to be on there at once, but we'll find out.
I want to try with that.
You're going to do the worms first? Now, they're probably pretty freaked out being moved in there. Let's show them what we've done, though. So the glass is wet where he sprayed it and everything. But we got this rock out of the yard. It's under the heat lamp. Our secondary light here, the UVB, is right there.
Then this side will be the dark side or the cool side. I have all my aquarium lights on timers. So these are on the same timer as my other ones. So those lights will run from 10 in the morning until 10 in the evening. And all the lizards are back there. All right, you can put the worms in there for them.
The eating spot is right there.
3 worms is enough. Let's put some crickets in there. Put the lid back on the worms. We got this bag of crickets. Okay, one of those lizards just went darting across the back. I assume it was trying to get a cricket. Oh, yep, he's chasing those crickets. He's got one. You see it, Zayden? He's got that cricket.
Yeah.
Yep, he ate a cricket. And there's a bunch more crickets. There's another one.
That one just ate one.
Yep, he sure did.
I just pulled out a mulch.
A splinter, yep, sometimes we get splinters. So the lizards don't like being in there. They don't like us yet, but they like the crickets and they like the worms. So that's a start. And maybe they'll get used to being in here and we'll just keep making their home better and put more plants in. Well, they've all already ate one cricket.
See?
Yep, if they're still hungry, I don't know how many crickets they eat in a day, but if they're still hungry, they'll find them because the crickets can't get out. There he goes. He's got one.
That's the one I threw behind him.
Yep, he sure does.
Now they're hunting for more. Guys, take a drink. Chew. No more.
They're fighting over it. You want to just put all the crickets in there?
Yeah?
Just dump the whole thing in.
Except this.
Yep, which that'll have some on, so you got to hold it up in there and shake it. Look at him run around that rock. Oh, he's got it. This guy's after him.
My lizards they like crickets, all I know. Oh no.
All right, guys. Well, my plans today did not include setting up a cricket aquarium or a terrarium for crickets, but this has been a lot of fun. So I appreciate you taking time to watch. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.